Hi, and welcome to From Best Kitchen. Tonight I'm going to be making meatloaf. Hubby was asking me what I was going to make next, and I said, I don't know, I haven't figured it out. He said, why don't you make meatloaf? So, okay, meatloaf it is. I have diced up 1 onion, and I'm making 2 pounds of hamburger for meatloaf. And what you do is you put about a tablespoon of oil in the bottom of your pan and heat that up, and then you saute your onions just until they're nice and tender. And I have a can of chicken broth, and we're probably just going to use about a half a can of this, and about 1 cup of breadcrumbs, and also 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I freeze it in 1 tablespoon increments, so that way it's easier and it doesn't go to waste. And I have 2 eggs that I've already beaten really well. Saute these a little bit, just a little bit longer. I'm going to put a little bit more grease in that. I don't think I got quite a tablespoon. I got a tad too high. So anyway, you cook this down just a little bit. And while this is going on, I have preheated my oven at 350. Let me get a pan real quick. Forgot to get my pan out to put my meatloaf on when it was ready. And you simmer these probably 3 to 5 minutes till they're a little bit translucent. I'm going to grab some foil for my pan, and I'll be right back. And I always line my pan, and I use the Reynolds No Stick because I like it the best. Okay, those look like they're done. Okay, so now I'm going to add about a half a cup or a half a can, turn this off, of chicken broth. About 3/4 of a can. And you get Worcestershire sauce. And you add about 3 tablespoons. You don't want to add any more than that. It's not the camera. Okay, and then I add salt and pepper. And it's a personal preference how much you want. Just remember, you can never take out the salt, so it's easier to not use a lot and let whoever it is season it, because you don't want to get too much salt in something. It's atrocious. And we love pepper. Now I add my tomato paste. This takes place of adding ketchup. And you can always do a topping with ketchup and some brown sugar. Okay. Now you pull this and just start stirring it. So you mix the tomato paste in with the chicken broth and your salt and pepper. And I'm going to grab me some garlic powder, so I'll be right back. Love me some garlic powder in there, just give it a little bit of extra flavor. Okay. There we go. It looks all mixed up well. You want to make sure that you don't see any chunks of tomato paste, because that wouldn't be very, very nice to get a big bite of tomato paste. Oh, see, like right there. And I try to do these in entirety so y'all know how to make it. Somebody suggested that I condense it down, and then I heard somebody say, don't do that because I don't know how to cook, and I really need to know how to do it. So I'm going to show you in the entirety. Okay, there we go. Looks like it's all mixed pretty good now. Okay, let me get my hamburger. Yep. And I am using Angus 80% lean with 20% fat. You don't want to use a too lean of a hamburger because your meatloaf will be dry. You don't want dry meatloaf. Okay, so as this is cooling, and the secret to not having let me move my camera again. The secret to not having a dense meatloaf, use forks when you mix it up, because when you squeeze it, what you're doing is you're compressing the meat, and so it just makes it dry. And I don't know about you, but I don't like dry food. Okay. So let's see. This is just about cooled off. You want to cool it down before you add your egg in there, because you don't want your eggs to be cooked. And I love wearing gloves when I cook. I'm OCD about that. Okay. And here's my 2 eggs that I have well mixed. What you do is you mix it in. Okay. And I like to mix it all like this instead of dumping it in the meat and then trying to mix it all. This way, if you know it's all mixed well before you add it into your hamburger. Alrighty. So now, here's my hamburger. I'm going to dump this in here. Make sure you get all the onions. Get the flavor. Then you add about a cup of breadcrumbs. And then you use your forks and just tousle it together. Let me angle this down so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. So make sure you rake the bottom. I'll have to add me a little bit more breadcrumbs in there. There's nights I have people over and we have meatloaf. And I'm not going to name no names, Kevin and Max. They had 2 or 3 helpings of meatloaf. Hey, that's great. That's why I do it. Anyway, you see how that's all kind of a fluffy instead of all condensed together? Okay. Make sure there's no breadcrumbs in the bottom, because if there's some in the bottom, then there's some stuck somewhere else. And when you rake it out, it'll get all over the meatloaf and you'll have a awkward spot there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this into 2 meatloaves. And then you shape it and you form it into your loaf. Because my baby's daddy, my ex-husband, he helps me a lot, helps me and my husband. And so I always make an extra meatloaf for him. It's like he was over here helping me with my lawnmower a couple days ago. So I got to keep him happy. I pay him in food. He likes that. Okay, I don't know if you can see the... All right, those look beautiful. I'm going to stick these in the oven and bake them for 350, about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to take them out and I'm going to put my topping on it. I'll probably make some, use some ketchup, brown sugar, and just a sprinkle of Worcestershire sauce to give it, and some garlic powder, so it has a little bit of flavor on the top. So anyway, we'll catch up on the next video. Hi there. Guess what just got done? Okay, we baked it 20 minutes at 350, and I used a half a cup of ketchup and a heaping tablespoon of brown sugar, a little bit of garlic powder, and a splash or 2 of Worcestershire sauce, and I put that over the meatloaf. Then I put it back in the oven for about another 40 minutes, 35 minutes. Keep an eye on it, because I do 20 minutes and then I coat it with the topping. I stick it in another 20 minutes and I check it. And then I do 10-minute increments to make sure it's done. So, shall we test this? Can you see how moist that is? After it fell off my fork. And what's even better, make your meatloaf sandwiches, put your little bit of mayonnaise on each side of the bread, and cut a thin slice. That's some good eating right there. So, thanks for watching my video. Let me know if you make it and what you think of it. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe to From Best Kitchen. Have a great day, y'all. Stay blessed.